When I first heard the word occult, I never imagined it would one day define my life. I thought it was just something distant, something whispered about in late-night conversations or seen in movies. But curiosity is the first door that darkness knocks on. And when you open it, even slightly, it never closes the same way again. It started innocently. I was searching for meaning. I wanted power. I wanted understanding. Everyone around me seemed to have something I didn't: confidence, success, influence. I felt small, invisible. And one day, a man came into my life who promised to teach me the hidden laws of the universe. He didn't look evil. He didn't even talk about demons. He spoke about energy, elevation, enlightenment. He said that within me was a divine spark waiting to be unlocked, and that through certain rituals, I could awaken it. At first, it sounded harmless. Just meditation, candles, certain symbols, a few words whispered under the breath. But over time, the atmosphere began to change. The air around me started to feel heavy. I began to hear whispers when I was alone. Shadows lingered longer than light. What nobody tells you about occultism is that it doesn't start dark, it starts seductive. It makes you feel chosen. It convinces you that you're awakening your potential, when in truth, something else is awakening in you. I remember the first night I felt it, that unseen presence standing at the foot of my bed. It wasn't a hallucination, it was real. I could feel its weight in the air. A coldness that had intention. It didn't come to scare me, it came to claim me. Because by that point, I had already performed too many small rituals that I thought were symbolic. Each one was a covenant I didn't understand. People think the occult is about gaining control, but the truth is the opposite. It's about surrender, slow, disguised surrender. The more I tried to master those energies, the more they mastered me. My mind became their temple. My will became their altar. The success came, oh yes, it came. Suddenly my business grew. People respected me. My words carried a strange charm. But behind that charm was something hungry. Something that always demanded more. If I didn't do the nightly invocations, things would go wrong. Accidents. Nightmares. Sickness. So I kept obeying, convincing myself it was spiritual discipline. And that's how bondage hides, inside devotion that looks holy but isn't. Over time, I couldn't pray anymore. I couldn't even say the name Jesus without feeling like something inside me screamed. My dreams were full of fire and strange creatures calling my name. I was seeing success in the day and fighting for my sanity at night. I lost relationships. My family said I had changed. They said my eyes were different, colder, emptier. But how do you explain to people that you sold your peace for power? That every night you sleep beside something unseen that watches you breathe? When I finally broke, it wasn't in a church. It wasn't through a pastor. It was one ordinary evening when I realized I couldn't feel my soul anymore. I looked in the mirror and saw a version of me that was no longer human, just a shell dressed in success, owned by something else. That's when I cried out, not to the spirits, not to the universe, but to the God I had forgotten. I didn't even know how to pray anymore. That night, I saw light, not metaphorical, not emotional, but literal light break into my room. It was painful, purifying, and beautiful. The same darkness that once mocked me screamed as it fled. Today, I'm not telling you this to glorify what I did, but to warn you. Behind every promise of power is a price you can't afford. Behind every ritual is a covenant that chains the soul. And behind every awakening outside of Christ is a slow death in disguise. So before you go searching for what's hidden, make sure you won't lose yourself trying to find it.